Coming up on Network Africa, dozens of people killed in a gold mine collapse in Sudan. The Supreme Court of the Gambia rejects opposition challenge to December 4 election. Plus, more tributes pour in for South Africa's Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Hello and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Adegoke. We begin in Sudan, where dozens of people have been killed in the collapse of a defunct gold mine in the West Kordofan province over the weekend. According to the spokesperson of the country's state-run mining company, at least 38 people are dead, raising an earlier toll of 31. Local media reports that several shafts collapsed at the Dasaya mine and that besides the dead, at least 8 injured people were taken to a local hospital. The mining company also posted images showing villagers gathering at the site as at least 2 dredgers worked to find possible survivors and bodies. The company said the mine had been condemned for being unsafe and it had been guarded by security forces for a while to ensure that no activity resumed on it. However, local traditional miners are said to have come back to work the mine after the forces left the area. The Gambia's Supreme Court has dismissed a plea by the country's main opposition party to annul the outcome of December 4's presidential election, in which incumbent Adama Barrow was announced the winner. Usaini Dabo, leader of the United Democratic Party (UDP), had said the election campaign was tainted by bribery and corruption. However, in his judgment announced on Tuesday, Chief Justice Hassan B. Jallow said the UDP had failed to comply with the requirement of Rule 11 of the election petition rule, which required filing a motion of petition and security. President Barrow won the December 4th poll with 53% of the vote, while Dabo, who was the Gambian vice president in Barrow's first administration, secured about 28%. However, Mr. Dabo did not indicate whether he or his party would continue to challenge the election results, although the Supreme Court's decision is final and cannot be appealed. Research by South African scientists is suggesting that Omicron could displace the Delta variant of the coronavirus because infection with the new variant boosts immunity to the older ones. The study only covered a small group of people and has not been peer-reviewed, but it found that people who were infected with Omicron, especially those who were vaccinated, developed enhanced immunity to the Delta variant. The analysis enrolled 33 vaccinated and unvaccinated people who were infected with the Omicron variant in South Africa. Professor Alex Sigal, who led the study, says it found that the new variant would, in all likelihood, push the Delta variant out of the South African population.
Looked at immunity to Delta in people infected with Omicron, and we found that the immunity is enhanced, which means that people that were infected with Omicron are less likely to be reinfected with Delta. But the opposite is unlikely to be true. So people that were infected with Delta are not necessarily protected from Omicron infection. And this probably tells us that Omicron is going to push Delta out. And that may be important, especially if Omicron gives rise to less severe disease. So the sample was small. It's all we could get during the holiday period. You know, this is we did this study in South Africa, and so we don't know yet how it applies to other countries. But within those limitations, I think the conclusions are what they are. We've did small studies before that generally were correct. They were correct up to now, so we didn't mess up so far.
As South Africans continue to celebrate the life of anti-apartheid hero Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who died on Sunday, his daughter Notombi Naomi Tutu is remembering the day her father stepped in to save a young man from being burned alive by an angry mob as one of her proudest memories of her father.
One of the proudest moments, and it happened when I was actually living already in the States. And it was at the funeral when the young people were going to kill the person who had been identified as Impi. And I got a call from the TV station in Hartford, Connecticut, saying, we have film from South Africa of your father saving somebody. We would like you to come and see it and talk to us about it. And I mean, you know, to see that and to see him going in, you know, there were so many things striking about it. One was that he had the courage to go into the crowd and say, no, this is not how we do it. But the other is that those young people listened, right? That there was a dignity in our struggle, that these young people, they could have said, Suga Wena, who are you to tell us about these people who are selling us out? But there was still that respect for Udedi and the other clergy, that, you know, here are clergy people who are asking us to step back from this action. We were not there as he passed. My siblings and I were not there, but we had been with him the day before, and he, as I said, you know, he was ready. He was ready, and he went to meet his God ready and willing. I will miss just knowing that this is the place to be hugged. The place to, Udedi was a hugger. He hugged, anybody who knows him will know that he hugged. And even when we went and we saw him after he had died lying in the bed, Sonke, we climbed onto the bed to hug him, because that is so much who he was. The Udedi who always hugged, who always kissed us, who was so open with the fact that he loved us.
Meanwhile, the Archbishop of Cape Town has been speaking of the final communion he had with Desmond Tutu on Christmas Day, the day before the iconic anti-apartheid campaigner died at the age of 90. Bishop Thabo Magoba says he's still processing the death. Magoba signed a book of condolence just outside St. George's Cathedral and looked at the many floral tributes and touching messages left for the man known affectionately as the Ark. On Friday, Archbishop Desmond Tutu will lie in state at St. George's ahead of Saturday's January 1st funeral service, which will be led by Bishop Magoba.
It's a hard one. I'm still trying to process, you know, having been with him on Christmas Day to go and give him communion. And, you know, his typical hands that you've taken for many years. And he was just saying, thank you, always full of gratitude. I hope I can learn from him that in everything, in pain, in joy, in sadness, just to give thanks to God. I'll miss his moral courage.
Well, earlier today, Johannesburg's Anglican Church dignitaries and local figures held a memorial service remembering Archbishop Desmond Tutu outside his home in Soweto. Joined by clergy members, Johannesburg's Mayor Mfoto Palase and the choir, the city's bishop spoke of the late Tutus, saying he was motivated by his faith in the Lord.
Join everybody as we say to our Father, fare thee well, but more so as we say to him, thank you for who you were.
I believe that he was motivated by his faith in the Lord. He had faith in God. He had faith in the people. He had faith in himself. He had faith in others. He had faith in the capabilities of others. He believed that every human being has been given faith by God, and they are all divine. He anniversary ark, and he walked around the cathedral precinct. And as we lay to rest our father, our friend, our mentor, our everything, who had these three things that will remain: faith, hope, and love. Thank you.
For the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, he says he is greatly saddened to learn of the passing of the Archbishop Desmond Tutu, describing him as an unwavering voice for the voiceless. In a statement issued, Mr. Guterres said Archbishop Tutu was a towering global figure for peace and an inspiration to generations across the world. During the darkest days of apartheid, he was a shining beacon for social justice, freedom, and non-violent resistance. The UN chief also said Archbishop Tutu's relentless determination to build global solidarity for free and democratic South Africa was fittingly recognized by the Nobel Committee in its decision to award him the Nobel Peace Prize back in 1984. Away from South Africa to the Democratic Republic of Congo, with support from the UNHCR, refugees in Côte d'Ivoire are starting to rebuild their businesses that had been affected by the economic slowdown caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The coronavirus hit Africa's economy, and refugees have been particularly vulnerable. However, the UN Refugee Agency has stepped in to provide support.
Sophie, a refugee from the Democratic Republic of Congo, has built a business in Côte d'Ivoire's commercial capital, Abidjan, selling salted fish in local markets and in neighboring Mali.
Because of the political situation, I was forced to flee my country to come to Côte d'Ivoire. COVID-19 hurt me badly. It whipped me, as we say in Congo. The business slowed down.
When COVID hit and borders were closed, sales dropped by 2/3, forcing her to halt expansion plans. But now, she says things are going so well for her, she sends money back to her parents and children and is expanding her storage facilities.
I'm a fish cleaning expert. I love it because it's through the fish business that I escaped poverty.
Through the help of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, she now plans to complete the storage construction and hire other refugees as staff. Ezekiel is another refugee who is benefiting from the UNHCR's support.
I'm a shoe manufacturer. For the period I started, the coronavirus came. So corona destroyed everything. I want to help and train refugees in this business so that after their training, they will become independent. Then also expand my business capacity.
The majority of people we support are more impacted than others, especially because they work in the informal sector, doing small business. They live from hand to mouth.
Same like Sophie, over 80 refugee entrepreneurs received financial assistance and training through a UNHCR livelihoods program. With help, they keep their businesses afloat.
Still ahead on the program. As the year 2021 winds down, the United Nations calls on the world to come together to make recovery the world's resolution for 2022. Welcome back to the program. Some residents of Lagos State here in Nigeria has asked the state and the federal government to provide better security for everyone in the new year. These are the words of some workers who resumed their duties today after the Christmas holiday. They also asked government to provide social amenities for citizens.
I really want to be more closer to God. Because I know that this year, because of much of activities, I was not really spiritually closer to God. So I want to be very careful how I live next year.
God mercy and improvement.
I need to improve on myself and ensure that I abide or obey all the rules and regulations of government and of human too, so that to balance the two and get a better result. There is a lot of electoral promises. Let them do what is expected of them, what they have promised us to do, that will ensure good governance. That is the social amenities and every other thing that will make life comfortable for the citizen. So they have promised us and we have voted for them. We have given them the trust required. Now it is now left for them to now do the needful by delivering all the electoral promises and make Nigeria a better nation.
To make more money next year and to make sure that all my existing projects I'm able to finish them by next year. And by next year, I expect the security situation of the country to have improved much more better than this for next year, and that there should be more money. Government should pump more money into the circulation, so that because there are a lot of hardship right now in the country.
The governor of Nasarawa State in northern Nigeria, Abdullahi Sule, is restating his commitment to ensuring the protection of lives and property. In line with the governor's commitment, youths from Wamba local government area are championing the crusade of unity as they assembled different ethnic groups from the north central zone. Our correspondent Halima Gayam reveals what happened in the Carnival of Unity in this report.
Security is a responsibility Governor Abdullahi Sule assures he prioritizes.
Security is the job of every one of us. We must continue to relay useful information to the security agencies. That's the only way they can do their work.
While the governor and other stakeholders play their part to ensure peace, young persons are charting a path for unity to thrive. Youth from Sisambaki community of Wamba local government area host diverse ethnic groups from the state annually during the Yuletide to a carnival. This year being the 6th edition, the youth are assembling different groups from the states of the zone to what they tag the North Central Carnival of Unity.
The message we are passing is a message of peace, is a message of unity, is a message of progress.
Ethnic groups from the zone are well represented. From that of the state, Kwara, Kogi,
right here in the north central region of Nigeria, and we're happy to share
Plateau, Benue States, with solidarity appearance from neighbors, Southern Kaduna,
we have the antelope dancers. I must not confess.
and Taraba States. And more from the Yoruba troupe. Hausa Fulani.
Youth Association Akwanga Zone.
Igbo as well. Not just dance, local cuisines too. Cultural diversity fills the air.
The event is such a laudable event. It is not only an event that we're brought together to just smile and be happy, but from the look of things, you will see that it's a symbol of unity.
A Filipino shares her thoughts.
All the youths now that is joining cultism, this is the example of avoiding those cultism, drugs, and all those criminality in the country.
The message of peace, unity and oneness extended by the Tshimbaki youth at a time when the country is grappling with security challenges makes the highlight. It is a community initiative that these young persons have taken beyond the community. It is now at the North Central Zone and they intend to take it even further. Halima Gayam, Channels Television News.
As the year 2021 winds down, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is giving his New Year message. He notes that the world's hopes for the future are being tested as it welcomes the new year. He's asking the world to come together to make recovery the resolution for the year 2022.
The world welcomes 2022 with our hopes for the future being tested. By deepening poverty and worsening inequality, by an unequal distribution of COVID vaccines, by climate commitments that fall short, and by ongoing conflict, division, and misinformation. These are not just policy tests. These are moral and real-life tests. And they are tests that humanity can pass if we commit to making 2022 a year of recovery for everyone. Recovery from the pandemic, with a bold plan to vaccinate every person everywhere. Recovery for our economies, with wealthier countries supporting the developing world with financing, investment, and debt relief. Recovery from mistrust and division, with a new emphasis on science, facts, and reason. Recovery from conflicts, with a renewed spirit of dialogue, compromise, and reconciliation. And recovery for our planet, with climate commitments that match the scale and urgency of the crisis. Moments of great difficulty are also moments of great opportunity to come together in solidarity, to unite behind solutions that can benefit all people, and to move forward together with hope in what our human family can accomplish. Together, let's make recovery our resolution for 2022, for people, planet, and prosperity. I wish you all a happy and peaceful new year.
And that's all we have for you for today on Network Africa. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Adegoke.